Yahweh Shalom. Praise and thanks and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Kakadash, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai. This is the brother Ramya. Back at you with another video. This is a little short little lesson, basically inspired from a conversation, what was held at work. Conversation, basically, a question, was basically brought up saying, imagine, if the whole world was rich, or the whole world had money, and that just, made me think, that, if the rich people over here, in this kingdom, the way they is act, right now, thinking that they better than everyone, not putting in the time of, putting in the time for Yahweh Shai, doing this will or what's not, imagine the whole world is like that, there will be no one following the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shai, it'd be no one having that focus on gaining that kingdom that the Most High had promised for us, everyone main goal or main focus was going to be on getting more riches or keeping their riches or finding out how to make more profit, or what's not, their mind wasn't going to be on, or their mind won't be on, Yahweh Shai, and I just going to show, that the Most High, he made that separation, in the earth, to where he had rich, wealthy, poor and middle, for a reason, because he knew that if the whole world had riches, that they'd follow after, wickedness, not doing his will, because they inside this flesh, not having the words of him instilled in them, so their mind is going to be far from him, and it's the reason why he made that separation in the earth, But the priest said that kingdom in mind, when I heard that was 1 Timothy 6:10. It reads, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith, and passed themselves through with many sorrows." Says, and they have erred from the faith. What rich man you see in this kingdom following the ways of Yahweh Shai? What rich man you see doing the will of the Most High? Who man you see with money or with fame or what's not, doing his will? None. Because why? Their main goal or their main focus is on gaining more money, protecting their money, and not losing their money. That's their main focus. They ain't worried about the Most High. They ain't even thinking about the Most High, because their possessions, they really treasures or what's not, is their God. And this is why the Most High say, no man can serve two masters, because you can hold one higher than the other. You can go hard for one and slunk on the next, and that's why the Most High chose meek men to gain His word. To give it His word too. He chose lowly men. Men with a broken spirit, basically. And it tells you why. The scripture tells you why, because as I say inside this precept, I'm reading it again. For the love of money is the root of all evil. With money comes wickedness. You could be doing all acts of wickedness. Doing everything besides the will of Yahweh Shai. Which while some coveted after. These men out here, these people out here chasing after that bag. Or they say, oh, I chasing that bag, I ain't got no time, or what's not. That's their mentality. They have erred from the faith. How is that? Because once your mind on chasing that bag, your mind ain't on the Most High. You don't care about what laws you break. You don't care about the Most High. You don't care about doing His will. The only thing you care about is gaining that filthy lucre. That riches. And this is why the Most High didn't make the whole world rich in this kingdom, because this kingdom is full of wickedness. Ain't nothing in this kingdom righteous. Everything is corrupted on this side. That's why the Most High says, roughly paraphrasing, lay not up your treasures on earth. And I can get that precept later on in the lesson. You know, so this is going to show you why the Most High chose those lowly men or those meek men, you know, to do His will. You know, because He know that their mind is going to be on Him to basically, you know, put His will first. Because why? They trying to gain that everlasting riches. You know, being the promise that He had promised for us. You know, in the end, that salvation, and you know, that salvation come with major benefits. You know, you could be filthy, nasty, rich. You know, you don't gotta worry about your things getting stolen. You don't gotta worry about attacking the things or gaining more, because you can have, you know, you can have whatever you want in those times. You know. So like, yeah, let me just try to pull up this necklace with this book of mine. Contract. So like, yeah. Rachel. Psalms 34 and 18. It reads, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Why is that? Because their mind is going to be on doing for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you know, trying to keep His law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their abilities. Because you ain't got nothing to lose. You know, you ain't got nothing, so you don't got nothing to lose. And this is why the Most High didn't make the whole world rich, you know. And when that was brought up, you know, I really could have laughed, because I really knew the reason why, you know. But you would tell Jake that, and they'd look at you like you're stupid, you know. They'll be like, oh, you just didn't get the blessing of the Lord, or this and that, because they really have that corrupted mindset, you know. They count riches as blessings, you know, not knowing the real blessing is knowing the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you know. And that's where they get brainwashed right there from their pastors, you know. The next precept, you know, is Matthew 6 and 24. It reads, it's like here. Matthew 6 and 24 says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. You know? And why is that? Because, as I stated earlier, everyone is going to be focused on gaining riches, you know, gaining more money, you know, or how to make more money. Anyone can have no time for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So if the Most High had it to be, you know, everyone was rich on this side, He was the whole world just perish one time, you know, because there wouldn't be no one falling in His ways, you know, His law, statutes, and commandments. So cheapest He just take out the whole world one time, because everyone just could be doing wickedness, stacking sin upon sin, abomination upon abomination, you know. It says, no man can serve two masters, for he will either hate the one and love the other, you know. And that's the mindset of these rich men over here now on this side, you know. Like I say, what rich man you see doing the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you know? What rich man, you know, is going to stand and take humiliation for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you know? What rich man is willing to suffer for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you know? You can't name one. You can't name one, you know? And this is why the Most High didn't make the whole world rich. Because imagine if the whole world was rich, you know? Boy, that'd be something, you know? That would be something. If the whole world was rich, imagine the amount of things, what would be happening upon the face of the earth, you know? This earth already full up with wickedness and abomination now. It'd be 100 times worse, boy. Why? Because you have access to do, you know, the means and access to do whatever you want, whenever you feel like, because you have the money to. What? The Most High might as well just kill the whole world one time. Last precept, jump to verse 21. Jump to verse 19. So it says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and dust and so like where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Why you stacking up riches on this side when you also have to think, in the back of your mind, what if someone come and try to take this? What if someone come and try to kill me for this? Why? Verse 20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, whether neither moth nor rust does corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal it. For where is your treasure, there will your heart be also. All the men who have riches on this side, they had, the heart being the mind, is on this side, is on earth. They mind focus on the things what's going to come in the kingdom of heaven. Their mind is on earth, on earthly things, on temporal things, not eternal things. Not things that's going to last forever. And these things is only going to grow moth, and get dust, and be corrupted, because these things on this side can't last forever. These things on this side can't last forever, like the things the Most High has promised for us. So why stack up all these things on this side? You can't care with you up in heaven. So like you can't care with you in the kingdom of heaven, you can't. So why stack and chase after this? Why? The next piece that just come to my mind, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Salakia, I think it First Corinthians. Salakia. God says 2 Corinthians 4:18. 4:18, God says, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Meaning that the things what the Most High has stored for us, we can't even imagine. It's beyond our imagination. And that's going to last forever. Eternal means forever. An everlasting thing that the Most High has promised for us. And the things what we could see, all these things what they'd call luxury on this side, it's temporal because they ain't gonna last forever. So imagine calling these things on this side luxury. The things what the Most High, has in store for us is past luxurious. You can't even have a word for that, because the things is unimaginable what the Most High has in store for us. But yeah, man, this is why the Most High didn't make the whole world rich, So you could scratch that question out your mind, You could take that question, what if the whole world was rich, out your mind, Because if the whole world was rich, the Most High measured us, be done with everyone right there and then. Because anyone can be focused on doing this will, laws, statutes, and commandments, When we focus on wickedness and abomination, and we're prime examples of that on this side, all your celebrities, all those men of stature, all those people who have clout on their side or what's not, or the money or what's not, we see things what they is be doing, But yeah, man, hopefully this lesson is much edifying to serve this purpose. I give our praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakarash, putting the spirit upon me to do this video. Shalom.